now that we're all set on here, I'm going to review the Essentials catalog first, and then I will review the seasonal catalog September through October 2023. And I'm going to go ahead and just get started and dive in. So I'm going to start with the new colors. I love what Close to My Heart has done with the cover of this catalog. And so with the new colors, it's not all new colors on here, but I do have them here. I've even actually opened and played with some of them. So there's Limeade and Jade, those two new greens. Pumpkin, which to me is a true pumpkin color. Rosy, which reminds me of our old hollyhock. I'm not sure how many people were around when we had hollyhock, but it was a fan favorite. Journey in the middle here is our color of the year. And then we have Acorn. And one of the things that I did was I pulled some of our older colors that either retired or we had long ago, so you could kind of compare the colors together. So this is Royal, our newest color, and this is Grape, which retired. I don't have a lot of purples. I'm not a huge purple fan, although I know some of you are. But this just kind of gives you a comparison. This purple I really do like. It's very rich and royal, as they say. The next color we can compare here is Journey. So Journey is our color of the year. Let me kind of move this out of the bright light. This is Pacifica. This has been retired for a couple of years, as well as Peacock. And you can kind of see how this goes together. And again, being on camera, things might not be super true to the color, but this allows you to kind of see the difference. Journey is extremely popular. If you've been trying to order it, you know it's been in and out of stock multiple times over the course of it going live August 1st or early August. So Green Apple is now a retired color, just retired, and this is Jade. This Jade is really pretty, and it's actually in our Christmas workshop kit. It's a really nice Christmas green that's not an evergreen. Then Avocado retired, and we have Limeade. So you can kind of compare these. This is a little bit lighter. Pumpkin and Nectarine. So Nectarine just retired. It was a brighter, more vivid orange, and then Pumpkin to me looks like the color of a pumpkin. Really pretty orange. And then our new color and a current color. So Toffee is our current color and Acorn is a new color. Now, when I got the Acorn, I was like, huh, they sent me Toffee. Doesn't look anything different. But you can see when you put the two together, they are definitely different. Have different purposes for in your neutrals as you are crafting and scrapbooking. Toffee is going to be featured in The Good Life. Acorn is featured in the Autumn Gnomes. So you'll get to see how those look a little bit different. And then finally, this is Rosy. This is the one that I said kind of reminds me of our old hollyhock. I tried to find hollyhock in my stash and it's been gone so long that I don't have it. This is Raspberry, which I'm comparing it to, and Raspberry did retire this past season. So that gives you kind of a good scope of the new colors. Just to kind of show you how they go together, I'm going to put these cards out here. When we had our convention, Close to My Heart gave us all of the new colors and came up with a card workshop so that we could play with them. So these are the new colors combined with one another, and you can kind of see how they play well together and differently. Notice I've left off sentiments on these because I like to go back and put the sentiments on when I'm sending the cards, especially when they're kind of a general card as this is. So, okay, let's pick those up. And got a little outline here so that we stay on track. So I mentioned that the color of the year is Journey. And with Journey comes a lot of different embellishments, and there is a bundle of all of the new Journey products. So we've got, of course, a cardstock, a ink pad, a re-inker. We've got shimmer trim, which is like a ribbon tape, a glitter ribbon tape that's self-adhesive. We've got Journey sparkles, Journey dots, which come in 3 different sizes of hearts, stars, and circles, and a Journey shimmer brush. Now, also, there's a Journey glitter paper, which I haven't gotten yet, and Journey sequins. So if you're looking in your catalog, you can see all of the color of the year items on page 12. So you'll see in here, they show you the color of the year and all the things. And then I love this color wheel, but this is not a true color wheel that you would find in your art class. But what I love about it is it shows how our colors go together. And some of them are the true color, and then some of them are the reverse side. So I do believe like this is Journey, this is the reverse side, and this is Seabrook. So if you're ever kind of looking for a color combination and not sure, this might help you with the Close to My Heart colors as well. Okay, as far as embellishments, because we have new colors, they've added some new embellishments, which I picked up. The pink has the new rosy color in it. The yellow orange has the new pumpkin color in it. And then they've included the Limeade and the Jade color in our dots as well. Now let's move on to, I'm just going to kind of try to flip the catalog open as we go to Operation Smile. As you may know, is the charity that Close to My Heart has supported for many, many years. And they do surgeries all over the world for cleft palates. And this is the stamp for Operation Smile. They also, I think you'll notice, I don't believe you can purchase this with your VIP credit because they do donate that $7. And here's a really fun layout that they have done with the Operation Smile stamp set. I have a little note down here because I have a wonderful picture of Marissa's smile at her wedding from last summer. And so I want to recreate this layout with that picture. These are our new colored pencils. You'll find those on page 18. There's 3 different sets of those. I have the bright and vivid set, and that's what I colored these flowers with that I showed you before. I'm working on saving to get the other 2, and they're not watercolor pencils. They are actually colored pencils, and they blend really nicely. I have really enjoyed playing with these, and you're going to see some more artwork with these as we go through. The other thing that's featured on this page is our Irresistible cardstock. And the Irresistible cardstock we had that in the catalog last year in our annual catalog. And this year they have new designs, and you can actually see the designs here. But we have a leaf pattern, a sprinkles, a plaid, some hearts, stripes, and some flowers. And if you look on page 28 in your catalog, you can see those in more detail. These are really fun because you can color them with your oxide inks, your dye-based inks, your shimmer brush, and then you rub it off, and the part that is embossed or resist shows back up as white. And you can see this layout here, super, super cute, done with all the different irresistible patterns and different colors. Okay, let's see, where are we going from there? We're gonna go to our how-to books. Look at all these tabs. We're not going to cover them all tonight. Those were just my wish list. Our how-to books has a new member. It's volume 6. And these are sketchbooks, which also are, this one includes scrapbooks and cards. So it shows you the sketch and the number of photos in this case. On the card, you've got your A2 size card, and you've got your slimline cards here. And then the page they're on, and then each one has a sample of that layout done. And sometimes it's even rotated. Same with the card. You can rotate and still have a good pattern. And then I love they also add little tips and tricks in this as throughout the book, which really is helpful. It just kind of helps, like if you're stuck with your creativity. Sometimes I just go through and read all the tips. So just kind of like the Reader's Digest magazine. As a kid, I used to just go through and read all of the jokes. Next, I'm going to talk about stencils, and those are over here on page 32, 33 through 35. And these are really popular. Stencils are really popular with your stamping right now. And we have both 12 by 12 stencils as well as card-based stencils. And you can see the designs as you go through here. The ones I want to point out to you is this stencil right here. It's divided into 4 quadrants, and it's shown here. So what you do is you color this quadrant. In this case, it's probably Rosy. The dots are probably this light Seabrook color. The leaves are a darker green, maybe pine. And then this one here, this quadrant, is this yellow color. And what you do is you just rotate it, so you can do each color, rotate it, and continue that pattern, and you end up with a full 12 by 12 sheet of this pattern. Beautiful way to make your own pattern paper, and just a really pretty stencil. I have used the stencil bundle number 2, which is shown right here. And I used it to create these 2 cards here. So this one is using the diagonal stencil in there right here. Actually, I used a couple different bundles. Bundle 4, which is the slimline card, and I just did it at a diagonal here so that I could use it on this card. And then this one is also a layered stencil, and you put the 2 together, get this floral pattern that you see here. A couple of hints about the stencils. When you are layering them together, and this is mostly on the ones that are have 2 steps. I think you can see here, I have my initial in the upper left-hand corner here. And what I did was I figured out how they match and which side matches. And then I marked my initial up here so that when I go to pull my stencil in, I'm not turning it and flipping it over and trying to get it to match. I know how it's going to match each time I do it. So that's just a little tip that might help you. The other thing I have, this is the 3rd stencil in there, which you can hardly see. Now let's do it against the black. This is a heart. So you do the heart this way in one color, and then you flip it over and you do it in another color. And that leaves you with a pattern similar to this. I highly recommend that you put some kind of color somewhere on your stencils so that you don't lose them. Let me tell you, I actually reordered some stencils that I thought I had lost, and did find them eventually, but it was about 2 weeks later. Okay, let's see. I'm going to move on to our new adhesive. And if you want to see our adhesives, those are on page 44 here in the catalog. And this is the one that says it's new to us, but in truth, it's the same adhesive that we've had. They have just made it now so that you can replace it or refill it when you run out. Yay! So this is my favorite adhesive. It's repositionable up to a few hours. And I just love using it because I'm always moving things around. And then you can buy it as a set like this and then buy refills to go with it. Or you can just buy this with that in there and then refill it. Let's talk about some new organization tools. Those are on page 54, if you're following along. So here, if you can see, This is what this is up here in this corner. It is called the desktop tool holder. And this is one of those things where you put your tool of any size in here and it will grip it and hold it. I love it for shimmer brushes because you'll see in a video that I did, if you're watching my YouTube channel, I laid the Journey one on its side and I ended up with an exploded. While we're talking about shimmer brushes, there's a couple of new colors. There's Jade and there's Rosy. And just to show you how to open these, what you do is you take the top off and then you remove this ring, and then you're going to screw this back on together super tight. And what I usually do is I screw it on part way, then I pull the cap off, and then I keep screwing until the clear part is touching this white part down here. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then you can start squeezing it and you can see the flow of the ink come through the tip of the brush. And once you get it started, you really don't need to squeeze it. It just will flow unless you've had it sitting up or sitting, you know, on your desk and not used it for a while. You might have to do that to get it to flow again. And this is the new Rosy color. We used to have red. Now it's actually matched to our candy apple ink. These are on page 16. Let's see if I got all the colors for that. The new colors are Candy Apple, Rosy, Journey, and Jade. So the only one that's not showing here that's a Candy Apple, and I still have my red one, so that's why I did that. The other thing in the organizational, which isn't quite available yet, but is coming, is this acrylic organizer. And it is meant to go on your desk as a Lazy Susan, and you can reconfigure it in different ways to hold different items. So you can see on here, there's blocks, shimmer trim, foam tape, some pencils, the colored pencils, your reinkers, and the tape. And then you've got this tool caddy here. So I'm excited to see this and see how it comes together. And I think it's going to be one of those items that will be handy to have on my desk. Next, I'm going to pull into this called Gnomes for Autumn. And in the back of our Essentials catalog, which is going to last the whole year, is a monthly special. Now, this paper is not going to be available for the whole year. But if you use this QR code, you can find out what the special is for the next time. And so that is just a way of kind of keeping it fresh so that you always have access to go and look at the special. Gnomes for Autumn is this fun paper pack, which really is just a fall paper pack with a few gnomes on the side. And if you're not a gnome person, you can flip this paper over and you have everything fall. And you have cute little hedgehogs. Actually, you have hedgehogs on this side too. But I think that's really fun that this can just be a fall paper. There's a little word scramble, some stripes. This is this is where pumpkin is as well. And this is just a really beautiful leaf print. And then the other side is this green plaid, which is Limeade. That also has you can get cork shapes, which are self-adhesive, which is a really nice addition for that. And I don't have this, but this is a die cut that makes this adorable little gnome. Now, I can't guarantee this, but I have a feeling since this is Gnomes for Autumn, that there may be gnomes for other seasons coming. So that is just something that I've been thinking about. And this here is this stamp set. It comes with or without thin cuts, depending on preference. A fun little pie, some really pretty sunflowers here, lots of stamps. I like mushrooms, and I think the mushrooms are back in. So that is our Essentials catalog. Close to my heart has tried to streamline our annual Essentials catalog to just have the essentials in it, and then highlight some of the premier products in our seasonal catalogs. So this is what the September-October seasonal catalog looks like. And on the front, it features the Good Life, which is a paper pack we'll kind of get into and talk about here. But I just love this page. It's just so pretty and just all the detail. I keep staring at it and going, oh, but there's more, but there's more. Coming back in, there's some more QR codes to learn about becoming a maker, to learn about being a VIP, the same Operation Smile stamp set. And then this is one of our cut above layouts. We previously had a subscription service where you would get 2 double page layouts every month. Actually, they would send them in a bundle, and they have changed that now to include those, not be a subscription, but to include those in the catalog. And this is the one for these 2 months. Really, it's a great way to get started as a scrapbooker or to get some big projects done that you want to get done, because everything is cut for you. So it's either a die cut, it's cut and printed for you, I should say. So you either have die cuts that you're using or stickers, and you can see some of it is already printed on the page. And I do have a video on my website or on my YouTube channel, and you can see how I've taken and used one of these to create a layout, not this particular pattern, but another one. I think it's called Fun, Fast, and Finished. This one is intended to go together like this, but again, this is where you could turn your pages and you could have your stripes going this way. You can alter these as you need for your scrapbooking. If you have questions about that, or if you haven't seen that before, let me know. I'd be happy to kind of go over that in more detail with you, because it is a unique product. Here we go. Here's the Good Life. This is a paper pack that's just very rustic. Some people say, well, it's a farm, but if you look at some of the artwork in here, you will see that there are places that have nothing to do with farms, and just a fun paper pack. And I've got it here. Of course, there is a barn and a windmill, but if you take that out, it's just more of kind of a rustic look with different metal containers. You've got gardening with the wheelbarrow. It's really a pretty one. This is a very fun, just distressed piece, again, when you're looking at this paper pack. And I love, love, love this Harbour gingham on this side. That is just, I don't know why, speaks to me. We've got a Mocha polka dot. And then this is like a corrugated metal look when you look at it very closely, but really it's just a stripe. And it's got a fun look to it. And I'll show you some work that I've done, artwork that I've done with that, and you'll see how you can use it to get that corrugated metal look. And then this paper here is the only one that you may think, oh, that's definitely farm, but you can use a lot of this area outside of these 2 windmills and have a great card or layout that's not farm-like. And then this is a beautiful wood grain, and you can see them right here, hopefully. Die cuts, again, there's a barn and a windmill, but everything else is very versatile. And I bet some of you will make something crazy and versatile out of that barn. And so I can't wait to see that, because you don't want a barn, but you want something. Great titles, Amazing Memories, You and Me. We've got the cardstock, coordinating cardstock that goes with it. And then if you're a Cricut user, or what's the other one? Silhouette. This is our SVG or digital collection for that. Okay, so here's some great stamp sets that go with this. This reminds me a little bit of the beach scene that I did a lot of in our last catalog. Yet played with this, but it's such a fun and just realistic looking here stamp set. And just looking in the camera that I'm seeing this just looks like a photograph, actually. So they did such a great job. And they did this with the colored pencils. So you can see how soft and blended you can get those. has a scrapbooking workshop. And with our scrapbooking workshops, they also do featured techniques that are optional. So this one has a featured technique of coloring the die cuts with the colored pencils. And so they show your additional supplies if you're going to do that technique with those colored pencils. Not necessary, but just adds an extra touch if you like that. You can see the coloring here, up here as well. This is that tree that they're highlighting here. Okay, next is the Good Life card making workshop. Again, this one has a technique of coloring with markers. So that's an additional technique, but you could really color with however you wanted to. It's got the cutting guide in here, so you can make 16 cards, the envelopes, the cardstock, and the paper, which we've looked at. And then it's got the die cuts with the stamped images. And just a fun little stamp set. Now, I have already seen people using this mailbox here, adding a little holly to it, and it becomes a Christmas card. So make sure you think outside of the box when you see some of these. I'm thinking you'll see it in a few minutes, some garland, and doing a Christmas card and adding this little garland across there. Again, thinking outside of the box, you really can stretch your stamp sets to go along in many different ways. Now let me pull in, this is the Good Life. Let's take out that. And these are some cards that are created with that Good Life paper. And this stamp set called Harvest Blessing, it's later on in the catalog. And it just does not come with thin cuts, it's a standalone, but you can see this beautiful images that it has to go with it. Again, looking more rustic, but not farm related. This is where I wanted to point out where I feel like this stripe looks a little more like a corrugated metal. By cutting it smaller, it just gives that look to it a little bit more. Here you can see it as well. Next page is Home for Christmas. This is one of those things that we all have been waiting for, is what's going to be here for Christmas. And here's the paper collection. And I have really already started playing with this and created 2 Christmas card workshops. So if you want to make Christmas cards and want to leave the designing to someone else, I'll be showing you those here in a second. Let's look at the paper. There's a beautiful poinsettia with holly. And then this paper here with all these different Christmas icons, which is so fun. I love the mailbox. Great wood grain paper. Looks like an old rustic floor. That would go good in the Good Life as well. And then a fun plaid for the holidays. Here is a script. The First Noel, Baby in the Manger. Got really nice Christmassy words. On a chalkboard background, if you look at it. So that way. And then the back side of that is this green pine, which is kind of tone on tone, but then also kind of has these distressed areas in it as well. Then you've got your stickers here. It's got a white little splatter on it. So scrapbook workshop coming up. We also have our die cuts that go with this, and these are layered. So you get a 12-inch piece of the black chip. It's not chipboard, it's like paperboard. It's a thick paper, red, and then pine. This is cranberry and pine. And you get to layer these pieces to create different designs. What the die cuts are, the coordinating cardstock, and then here we've also got the SVG or digital files. I've already started playing with this one. This one has that garland in it. Remember I was telling you about that? You're going to see that in a couple spots, but that would be so cute on that fence in the Good Life card making workshop. So then I have been playing with these stamp sets. So let me pull these over so you can see. This is one of the workshops that I put together. It's a combination of Home for the Holidays, no, Home for Christmas, and it's got a few mix-in paper packs in it as well. You can see this fireplace. It's really a fun stamp set to put, or stamp to put together. There's different layers, and it comes together really nicely. The sentiment, I really love the sentiments that are in there. I did pull in an embossing folder, which I'm going to show you that we have, and use that. And then there's another stamp set called the Christmas Banner that I pulled in from that as well. So that's mostly this card making stamp here all put together. There you go, some more Christmas card designs that you can use if you're going to make Christmas cards this year. This stamp set I have as well. I have used, actually, let me pull one thing out for you. Okay, I'm back. This is going to be a little difficult to appreciate in this view, but this is one of those easel cards. So this is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. When you open it up, you can stand it up by making this little piece rest on this little piece here. And I did a video that'll be coming up soon, but behind here is vellum. So I stamped the flames on vellum, and let's see if you can appreciate this. A battery operated candle behind that vellum. It's just too light in here, but you can kind of see. And when you set that on there, the fire flickers. So fun and easy to do. There's a video coming on how to do that. It's a bonus card in my workshop, and I think it'll be a really fun special card to make and gift someone. Here is the scrapbooking workshop. The featured is embellishing with our white gloss spray and our gel pens. So you can see a little bit of splatter here with that white gloss spray, some on these pieces here and here. It's an option, but not a requirement. But I love that they teach you a special technique and how to use this. Okay, and then this one is the Home for Christmas card making workshop. Again, you make 4 of each card. One is a slimline design, and then these 3 other. And this is coloring with the colored pencils as an option technique on this one. Again, if you have colored pencils, watercolor pencils, markers, you can do what you want, but it just gives you that option and the instructions in the instruction guide on how to do that. And it comes with your stamp set and thin cuts. And I have already used, these are little branches or little pine sprigs. I think you can see them in here. It's kind of tricky, that are just standalone thin cuts. And I've already used them in the design of another workshop that I created that you'll get to see later on. Fun to use to make these cards, but there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. I will tell you that I tried to see if I could fit these guys on that fireplace, because I really thought stockings on that fireplace would be fun. They're a little big. Maybe that's okay, because maybe you do want to have a really big stocking at Christmas time, but it was a little out of proportion for the cards that I was making. Here's our mix-in. I was shocked when I heard at convention that some of our #1 paper packs throughout the year, many of our #1s, are the mix-ins. You guys love these papers because they're patterns, but they're not specific to any season or design and go with a lot of things. And so this one in particular is just beautiful. It's made to go with the 2 paper packs that I've already talked about. And so you can see here, this one is the Home for Christmas, a mix-in. This one is the Good Life, and then another mix-in. And they've created this really fun layout that doesn't really have anything to do with any of those different seasons or holidays or farming. This one's like a chalkboard, or also could be a galaxy paper. This one is very much kind of reminds me of, like, you know, the paper with the little specks of seeds and flowers in it, only it's finer. It's a really pretty, and it's in green. It's got the pine in it. This is like cement. It's just a very smooth concrete look. pine grid, and you can see that my colors are a little bit off in this camera, but hopefully you can appreciate that. I love grid paper for journaling because it gives me some lines and then when I'm journaling, my handwriting isn't. So if I don't use it, I have for something, I have a special place where I keep all my grid or lined paper just for that reason. Fun tile pattern, I guess, is what I would call this. That's on the other side of the grid. And then this here is side, and I have to say this might be one of my favorites. So I've already used one piece of it. This is the other side with the big gingham. So that's the mix in paper packs right there. Let's move on. We've got lots of new stamp sets here, both holiday, fall, and then everyday kinds of stamp sets. This is our new blooming frame card front. And the fun thing about doing this is when you punch it out, you're gonna get some of these stems and flowers as the negative space, and you can use them to decorate other cards. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of that coming along. And then this stamp set fits in the middle, as you can see here. So it's a really nice pairing to go together for cards. I showed you this one with the gratitude. Here's some more pencil coloring in here. This is where we get into the farm. If you really want to make it a farm, we've got the locally grown and the apple picking. This is great for Washington State, don't you think? Mail silhouette. We haven't had this before, but one of our consultants earned the opportunity to help design a stamp set, and she helped to design this one, which I think is really great addition to, if you are a DIYer, know a DIYer, know somebody who loves tools, look at that. Really, really fun stamp set. This one here I haven't used yet, but I am anticipating lots of use. It's all these textures, and I love these kind of stamp sets because if I get a smudge on a card or a page, I can take something like this or this and just stamp over it and add a texture to the card, and good to go. It's also got this fun wood paneling here, which you could create a background on a card. You'll be seeing some fun things coming out with that. This one, I've got a workshop coming with this one in the Good Life from my friend Tina. I just did some proofreading with her, and this is just a really fun, beautiful one. And it's what we did those colored cards, highlighted the new colors. That's what I'm trying to say, those cards with this one here. Your Thanksgiving, some more Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm gonna let you guys go through this. Holidays, this is gonna be a really popular one, I can tell you that. So if this is something that speaks to you, I would get it now, sooner rather than later. It makes a really fun little comical look at Christmas and all of the things around Christmas. I have it, I haven't played with it yet, but I'm looking forward to playing with that. This one here is for a great one for scrapbookers and documenting on scrapbook pages. If you take out this holly and the December and maybe trimming the tree, a lot of this could be used with a lot of different things. So this one is a really fun one to use. And then you've got numbers, Christmas shaped numbers here as well. Okay, this is the second thing. Maybe this is the first thing that if you love it, don't wait because it's going to sell out. And what it is it's an embossing folder with a poinsettia. It has 3 stencils, and you can buy these separately or together. And then this stamp set here. And this is where I have been spending a lot of time playing as well. So let's bring this over here. This was where I definitely needed to put those little marks on my stencils because there's lots of design on these 3 stencils, and turning them to mix and match and get all of the things lined up is really helpful. And the great thing is it overlays onto your embossed piece of paper. And so for me, the upper left-hand corner, when I put my paper into the upper left-hand corner, then I know that this is going to go on top of that paper and match perfectly. It's a 3-layer stencil, so you've got your large poinsettias and some dots, then you've got your holly leaves and some stems, and then finally you've got like the fine detail of the holly leaves and of the poinsettia. And let me just kind of spread these out. These are all the same design as far as, gosh, these two are almost identical, aren't they? But you can see how I've stenciled over that area. This is with the Journey ink color, and then used some of the stamps in here and the banner and created some Christmas cards. This one, I did a lot of playing around to kind of find the design I like, and I believe this Merry Christmas design will be in the workshop, but obviously this works as well. And then I have several other cards. I think it's a 5-card workshop for Christmas. So really, truly, if you love it, don't wait. Like our Sprigs and Leaves one of last catalog will sell out for sure. Okay, we're gonna move through. Here's some really, I've got this alphabet, this Christmas alphabet, and I have an idea for a joy card. It might end up looking almost identical to this, but I've got a couple paper ideas that I want to use for that. And then the other fun thing is you don't have to use it as an alphabet. So they took the little gingerbread X with the North Pole T and created this fun little gingerbread guy. Really, really fun alphabet to play with. Same with combining this script alphabet. If you like that script look, you can see that they've done that here on this artwork as well. The end. Let's talk about the stamp of the month. This is the September stamp of the month, and I recently started playing with that, so let's talk about that. I paired it here with the Good Life, and kind of, again, the whole rustic look of the Good Life, not really any farm going on here, but I have the papers, and I like how that just really goes well together. You will see behind here, if you look really hard, there's a windmill behind there, but nobody's going to be looking at that and know that that is a windmill unless they're pulling things apart. So here's the stamp of the month. Just some really nice, I don't know, is that Victorian? What would you call that design? Stamp set. I really like this image. I think that's going to be the one you'll see a lot of. This one I did all in one color. This one I stamped in Toffee, and then I rolled it in Harbour, and that's where you get those two tones that's going on right there. Last but not least, actually not last but not least, here is the October stamp of the month, and you requested it, so they did it. Stamp of the month with thin cuts. Isn't that awesome? So we've never had thin cuts with our stamps of the month. We won't always have them, but when it's appropriate, we will have them. And so these are from Owl of Us, the October stamp of the month. When you place a $50 order, you can get the stamp set for free, and then you can add the thin cuts on for, I believe it's $17.95. If you're a VIP, the stamp set is free, and you pay if you want to add the stamp and thin cuts on there. Such a fun little addition to our Stamp of the Month program. In the back, they've got a color guide reference as well. That's very helpful. And that is it for this catalog. One last thing. The September special is called Say It in Style. It includes 3 stamps and thin cuts and a bunch of stencils. Now, I had just bought every single stencil in the catalog because they're inexpensive and fun to play with. And so I didn't want to justify ordering more stencils. So you've seen these cards, but you haven't seen these stamp sets yet. So I used the stencils that are in the catalog and then the stamp and thin cuts from 2 of the different stamp sets and created these cards. This card I showed you how I did this with the ombre, the stenciling, and then the ombre painting with the shimmer brush, which I think you can kind of catch that shimmer on there with in the light. That's on my YouTube channel. It went live today. So if you want to see how I made that, you can. This is coming up in a couple of weeks. So make sure you check that out. The other stamp set has kind of some more trendy sayings to it, like "You Go Girl." I think that's the name of it. So that's another one that was Stamp and Thin Cuts, and they are on special this month.
Remember, if you'd like to see more videos like this or stamping and scrapbooking techniques, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.